Today I think I'm going to work on the cover of this glue book. Now I picked this book because it has quite thick paper in it, and I think that that's useful when you're adding many layers. The other thing is I took out a few signatures, so actually exactly where I was there was perfect to show you. You can see where I've taken a signature out here, and there's a kind of a split there. I've taken several of those signatures out because I mean you can see that it's already fairly fat, and I don't like them, really fat. You already have to put something around them to keep them, closed enough to put on a bookshelf or something when they're done. So yeah, that's you can see it was a silly book to start with, and I kind of like that, and some of these, and it has a lot of kind of fun images in it that I may end up keeping. You can see I've used some of Gina's downloads here, but I kind of like that dodo bird look. So and this kind of sarcastic looking angel. These are things that if you start off with something that you think is fun to start with, you can it makes it a little easier to keep going, I think. So today I'm going to work on that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to put a cover on this, and I'm going to use Gina's downloads to do it. And so I'm sanding off the kind of plastic coating on the cover of this book, so that the matte medium has something to hang on to. If you don't, take some of that shine off, sometimes the glue's got nothing to hang on to, and it just kind of slides off even when it's dry. So there's not much complicated going on here. We're just going to put take the dust of the sanding off, and put some matte medium on, and then put the download on. I'm just checking the size and looking at the stencil I'm going to use afterwards, which is a dots and circles stencil, I believe it's called, and one of Gina's downloads. So yep, there's you've probably seen all this kind of thing before, and if you haven't, all I'm doing is putting matte medium on the surface. I keep mine in an old mustard jar because it's easy to get an appropriate amount out on the mat, and also it closes up nice and tight. So I decided I'm going to put one side on at a time, which may or may not have been the best thing to do. It seemed to have worked out fine in the end, but I wasn't, about halfway through, I wasn't sure I'd done the right thing. Yeah, so just put matte medium on the book, and then put the paper down, and then put the matte medium over the top. That allows you to put whatever acrylic paint you want down on them. It also seals the paper, and so it's less likely to give you trouble with wearing and stuff, because it's a glue book. You're gonna open and close it a lot, probably. So I guess one thing I did want to say is that the pages I did show you only have the first layer on them. So, they're going to be a lot more, there's a lot more to come on them. And I might show you some pages that are finished or in progress at some other point. But I just wanted to say that, like, nothing I showed you there was actually done. Kind of important to know that, I think. Yeah, so nothing complicated here. I'll let you just watch. So at this point, I had dried it off, at least partly, and I'm now trimming it to the size of the book. I do discover that it's not quite dry, but hey, that's all right. It is a glue book after all, and uh, and so the next step in this, after I trim it off, is that I'm gonna do some stencil work, and yeah, let you watch. So as you can see, I put out some paint on the mat. Oops, my head's in the shot. Sorry. Um, Gosh, I look like a porcupine. Anyway, yeah, I picked the purple because there's on the other side of the book, on the other side of the download, there's purple, which is where I got the color from. No big mystery, no big choice in what I was doing. I just said, oh, there's purple on there. Well, that makes it easy. I'll just pick that. Um, and so I do a couple of little extra decorations on top of the download, and then I kind of turn it over, and I think, you know what, it's um oh, there's that porcupine again. um yeah, so I think the other side of the download, on the other side of the book, has the a strip of white where the download is uh, um, finished, and I decide I'm going to put purple there, but apparently not before I decide I'm going to write on this thing, glue book. And as I thoroughly expect it to be there to be more than one glue book this year, I'm calling it Glue Book 1. I hope you've all noticed that this is sped up. It's actually running twice the regular speed. Not that efficient in how I do things. Yeah, so there's that white strip, and I see I have that extra paint on there, so I decide, I'm just going to put some of that purple on there. And, cover up that white strip that's a little more pleasing to the eye. Doesn't look so unfinished. And, even though it is just a glue book, it's important um, that it's pleasing to the eye, and that it appeals to your general artistic sensibilities, right? And here I see to my I still have paint on the mat, so I'm going to use it up inside the book. I put a little row of spongy squares along the bottom of that page, and I still have some purple, and I think, what am I going to do with it now? So I think I probably put the stencil back down and and do some stenciling again on the same page. Just more than anything, just to use up the the paint, you know, so that you're not just kind of wasting that resource. I mean, you know, I'm all for using what you have, but don't waste what you've got either. So, and there we are. I decided I'm going to do that. I kind of place it so that I can, you know, only stencil part of it. So it kind of looks like that stencil's hidden in behind that piece of scrapbook paper that looks like a wall of wood. Anyway. Oh, some more. Still have some more paint. Oh, there I go. I'm going to put it somewhere else. Just using it up. And it's always interesting to me how sometimes the page, the kind of paper that's on the page, the kind of medium that's is also on the page, make a big difference in how the paint takes the page. And a little bit of plastic, wax paper, sorry, to keep the pages from sticking together, because I didn't really bother to dry that. Okay, so here's my the cover all finished. It's the the actually the back is kind of more interesting than the front. I did put some washi tape on there that I found. I thought the colors were a really good match. So I think it turned out quite well, and it's nice, you know, when you're working on something that's you know, a little bit more casual than some of your other pages, like you would in a glue book, that you still have something nice to look at. You know, I think that's inspiring to me when I look at that book and I say, oh, good, that's that nice glue book I get to work in now. So, and I'll show you where I use some of Gina's downloads in other places in the book. Oh, where'd that page go? So these were some, you know, leftover bits that I had from another project, and they work beautifully from with a little bit of that napkin. That's what that is. Oh, here's another one. That's a sticker that Gina sent me, and I absolutely love it, and the colors match perfectly on this page. I don't know what I'm going to do with this side yet. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, this page is looking pretty good. And here's another place where I used one of her small art pieces. She sends these out in a set, and I just tore it off the set. They're each one of them on the page is different, and this one worked really well with the colors. This page, like all the other ones I've shown you, they're not finished. They're just working through the process of putting something else and something else and seeing where it goes. And here's another one. It's a tag, which I thought worked really nicely on this page. The angles were the same, kind of matching the facing page. And at the back, I will definitely make a pocket for this lovely tag that Miss Cindy Signs Utter made for me. And partly because, you know, Cindy's my inspiration for glue books. I absolutely love her. Lots of people do them, but Cindy's the queen. And I encourage you to go check out her channel and artsy endeavors. And see what she does with glue books. She has a very interesting process. And yeah, So I think that's it for me. I'm going to call it a day for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.